once again, dear students, I hope you are doing fine. Welcome to the third module, which is on genres of viewing. Now, before we start, make sure that you have your module with you, a paper and a pen for you to take down notes and the important details, and then your answer sheets for you to do the activities at the end of this module or while you are viewing this one. So let's go back. So when we say viewing, we are referring to perceiving, examining, interpreting, and construction of meanings from visual images, and is crucial to improving your comprehension on print and non-printed materials. This is a skill that you should master as you are already exposed to multimedia. Now, to begin with, before we go into details, I'd like you to answer the following questions on your paper. So I'm going to read the question and the choices twice, and then you are to write the letter of the correct answer. So let's get started. Number 1. It is a commercial advertisement for a feature film that will be exhibited in the future at a cinema. Letter A, documentary. Letter B, internet-based. Letter C, movie trailer. Letter D, news flash. And letter E, weather report. Again, it is a commercial advertisement for a feature film which will be exhibited in the future at a cinema. Is it A, documentary, B, internet-based, C, movie trailer, D, news flash, or E, weather report? Okay, number 2 we have, it is a non-fictional motion picture intended to document reality, primarily for the purposes of instruction, education, or maintaining a historical record. Is it letter A, documentary, B, internet-based, C, movie trailer, D, news flash, or E, weather report? Again, it is a non-fictional motion picture intended to document reality, primarily for the purposes of instruction, education, or maintaining a historical record. Is it A, documentary, B, internet-based, C, movie trailer, D, news flash, or E, weather report? Number 3. It is a program available online and is more likely to be free of monthly charge. Letter A, documentary, B, internet-based, C, movie trailer, D, news flash, or E, weather report. Again, it is a program available online and is more likely to be free of monthly charge. Letter A, documentary. Letter B, internet-based. Letter C, movie trailer. Letter D, news flash, or letter E, weather report. Next, number 4. It is a report that contains information about precipitation, wind speed and direction, relative humidity, and atmospheric pressure. A, documentary. B, internet-based. C, movie trailer. D, news flash, or E, weather report. Again, it is a report that contains information about precipitation, wind speed and direction, relative humidity, and atmospheric pressure. A, documentary. B, internet-based. C, movie trailer. D, news flash, or E, weather report. Last but not the least, number 5. A report on an important piece of news that is given in the middle of another television or radio show. A, documentary, B, internet-based, C, movie trailer, D, news flash, or E, weather report. Again, a report on an important piece of news that is given in the middle of another television or radio show. A, documentary, B, internet-based, letter C, movie trailer, letter D, news flash, or letter E, weather report. Okay, so keep the answers and we're going to go back there after our discussion. Okay? Okay, so this time let's move to today's discussion, which is on genres of viewing. Now, when we say genre, there are many words that are associated with that. The first one is a style of how a piece is written, how a piece is presented, or how a piece is mentioned. The second one is content. What is the content of a certain piece? A certain picture, a certain image. The second one, the third one, we have the type. Type is also similar to the word genre. We have category, we have sort, we have form, kind, and classification. So those are synonymous to the word genre. Okay, so to further understand these concepts, I'd like you to watch 2 video clips, and then as you watch, I need you to take down the following questions. The first one is, what is the difference between the 2 clips? The second one, where and when do we usually see these clips? And then number 3, what is the purpose of each clip? So our first video is taken from South China Morning Post, posted March 12, 2020. And then the second video is taken from Movie Clips Classic Trailers, posted April 24th, 2018. After watching, we're going to come back and have the discussion on the following questions. Okay, so be very careful or be very observant as you watch the video clips. Okay.
Wala na kayong iba?
Okay na yan. Hindi sunog na maka-insure.
No one's allowed to talk, is that it? You can't talk?
No, you intimidate them.
Good God, you're a woman.
Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both? I humbly present the Jericho. To peace.
Tony Stark. Now you work for me.
What are
out here building stuff.
Your eyes are red. A few tears for your long-lost boss?
Tears of joy. I hate job hunting.
Yeah, vacation's over.
Welcome home, sir.
Put up the scanner, will you? What happened over there? I have my eyes open. I want to protect the people I put in harm's way.
A man with a dozen of these can rule all of Asia.
Yeah, I can fly.
Let's see if this dog can hunt.
So the upgrade is complete.
Tell you what, throw a little hot rod red in there. Damn. Good luck keeping up.
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing. There's been speculation that I'm parading around as a superhero. I'm just not the hero type, clearly.
Okay, so let's see. A while back, I posted 3 questions, and let's try to go and discuss the following. Okay, so the first one, it says there, what is the difference between the two? So it's very obvious. The first one, it talks about events that actually happened at a certain point. And then the second one, it's about a movie which is going to be exhibited at a cinema. Okay, where do we normally see these things? The first one definitely in a news program, and then the second one, it's an advertisement, so it can happen in between programs. Okay, and then let's see. Now this time, let's go to the genres of viewing. So, as we are all aware, our daily living highly involves visual media, such as the television and online platform that allows us to become active in the modern way of communicating around the world. We see advertisements, films, diagrams, symbols, photographs, videos, drama, drawings, sculpture, paintings in a daily basis that pave way to developing our viewing skill. So viewing skill, it is known to be the 5th macro skill of learning English. So as I have mentioned a while back, a viewing skill is the 5th macro skill of learning English. It involves visual media that help us understand the things around us. Okay, so this time let's move to the genres of viewing. Now, when there are current issues that the news organization feel the warrant of interrupting their scheduled programming in television, news flash is aired. So, the information conveyed in a news flash is important enough for viewers to take a quick break. So for example, a typhoon with heavy rain would come to your place. A timely news will interrupt your favorite television shows like teleseries and movies for them to air a news flash. So again, it could happen in any program. It can interrupt a current program just for the news flash to be aired. The second one, internet-based program also provides viewers informative shows that can be accessed through websites using internet connection, Netflix, iWant TV, and many more internet-based programs provide shows that are highly dependent to the internet. It would also require accessing through desktop computers, laptops, and smartphones. The third one, we have here a movie trailer. Oftentimes, when there are upcoming movies, there are series of selected shots that are shown in television or internet. As these movie trailers attract you because it's exciting, funny, or noteworthy parts of the film, these are usually short to avoid spoilers. The fourth one, we have here the weather report. This genre is a part of an entire news. It's a part of an entire news program that updates and foretells weather conditions on a specific area. Weather forecasts are made by collecting data about the current state of the atmosphere at a given place. When you wanted to know the weather for the next day, you could watch the news program's weather report to be updated. And of course, the last one, we have here the documentary. A documentary is a genre of viewing that is based on research. You can usually see it in long duration. As it is lengthy, it has the ability to bring us a broader, more deeply engaged and wider view of the current issues. So these are the different genre of viewing. We have newsflash, internet-based program, a movie trailer, weather report, and documentary. Okay, so before we started our discussion, I asked you to answer 5 questions about the genres of viewing. So let's try to validate if your answers are correct. So let's start with number 1. It says there it is a commercial advertisement for a feature film that will be exhibited in the future at a cinema. Your answer must be a movie trailer. Okay, so I hope you have answered it with movie trailer. If not, then please take note that when we talk about commercial advertisement for a feature film that will be exhibited in the future at a cinema, that is a movie trailer. Okay, so number 2, it is a non-fictional motion picture intended to document reality, primarily for the purposes of instruction, education, and maintaining a historical record. That is, ta-da! We have here a documentary. Alright, let's see. In number 3, it is a program available online and is more likely to be free of monthly charges. We have your internet-based programs. And then number 4, it is a report that contains information about precipitation, wind speed and direction, relative humidity, and atmospheric pressure. We have your weather report. And then number 5, a report on an important piece of news that is given in the middle of another television or radio show. We have your news flash. Okay, so those are the different genres of viewing. Now, I'd like to see how far have you understood the lesson. So let's start it one after the other. So in the following video, I'd like you to answer or to complete the following table. So I'd like you to write the title of the material. What is the genre of the material? And then the source. What information did you get from the material? On this part, you can just put it in bullets or you can just put in paragraph form. And then the second one is the information essential and why. So do you think what you have watched is essential? And then justify why is it important. And then based on your opinion, is the information truthful? And justify your stand or your opinion. Why do you say it is truthful? Why do you say it is not? Okay, so enjoy watching. I'll be back in a while.
I am an introvert and I love it. And I'm not alone. Introverts are everywhere. And our quiet approach to life, our need for solitary time, isn't a flaw. It's a gift. But as an introvert, it's not always easy to realize how wonderful you are. The world feels like a place that rewards extroverts, where being loud is mistaken for being confident and happy, where everyone has something to say, but nobody listens. A world of open-plan offices, networking parties, and big personalities. For those who speak softly, it's easy to feel left out. As a child, I blended into the background. Many thought that I had little to say or that I simply didn't like others, but that wasn't true. People often think introverts are shy or antisocial, but these are misconceptions. Introverts, like anyone, can find socializing fun, but while parties leave extroverts energized, after some time, introverts need to recharge, away from everyone. There's a scientific theory for this. There are two important chemicals found in all our brains: dopamine and acetylcholine. Dopamine is like a hit of energy when we take risks or meet new people, and it makes extroverts feel great. But introverts are more sensitive to dopamine and get quickly overstimulated. That's why we prefer the more slow burn feeling we get when our brains release acetylcholine. That happens when we concentrate, read, or focus our minds. It makes us introverts feel relaxed, alert, and content. But it barely registers with extroverts. Of course, like anything, it's a sliding scale. You can lean one way or another, or be a bit of both, known as an ambivert. Now I understand myself better. I am deeply grateful for how I am. Instead of filling up space with small talk, I listen patiently and make my words matter. I have few friends, but our connection is deep. I love spending time alone. It's where the chaos of a long day can finally settle. I can reflect and listen to my thoughts, and eventually reconnect with myself. Only after that am I ready to share with the world again. I've learned strategies for finding comfort in our noisy world, from using music to create bubbles of peace, to escaping to a quiet park at lunchtime. I adore the intensity and chaotic beauty of the world, but it's in quiet spaces where I feel truly at home. If introversion were more valued by society, it could make a massive difference to our collective future. The unique attributes of introverts really are a deep, quiet strength. And as Gandhi put it, in a gentle way, you can shake the world.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to receive notifications for new videos. See you again soon.
Done to the last part of our discussion. Now this one will really see if you have understood, if you were able to identify the genres of viewing that are presented or discussed a while back or in the earlier part of this video. So you will be watching 5 video clips, and as you watch, I need you to answer or complete the following diagram. So it says there, genres of viewing. So in each video, you're going to give me the title of the video. What is the genre? How long is this one? And then, what is it about? In this part, what is it about? I'd like you to just give me the summary, maybe in 2 to 3 sentences. What is the video all about? Okay, so there are 5 videos. I need you to watch them carefully and then complete the table as you watch them. Alright, so there you go. Enjoy, and we'll see you in a while.
You wake up to a phone filled with notifications, yet you want more. The rush of somebody liking your picture is like no other. If you weren't aware, we are all a part of a scary epidemic. It is a drug called social media. Today is an era of addiction. Today is an era of reliance. Today is an era of toxicity. The use of our smartphones and social media have revolutionized the way we live entirely. Everywhere you look, you will come across another person being sucked into yet another cellular device. Mothers, fathers, babies, sons, daughters, you name it. This film is not here to discredit the things smartphones have done for us, but it is here to open your eyes to the dangers that are among us. Today, there are 3.9 billion active social media users. That makes more than half the world. According to research, the average user spends about 2 hours and 22 minutes on social media per day. Kids from the 8 to 18 cohort use it for 7.5 hours daily. That's about 52.5 hours spent in 1 week alone. That's more than a full-time job. In the year, that's about 2,737.5 hours, which is about 114 days spent glued to your screen on apps like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. What is it about these smartphones that are so intriguing? You probably haven't heard of the term attention engineer. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says that many of the major social media platforms hire these attention engineers who borrow principles from Las Vegas casino gambling in hopes to make these products as addictive as possible. Why are the companies doing this? Well, the more time you spend on these social media platforms, the more they can maximize profit from the user's data and information. They use these tactics to grab your attention by giving you these subtle treats. Take, for example, when someone likes your photo on Instagram, you are notified with a heart symbol. Seeing those heart symbols pile up when you post something actually releases dopamine in your brain and really give users a sense of completion. So it's simple. The less notifications they get, the less dopamine. It's essentially a drug. Stanford's very own Robert Sapolsky did the foundational research on something called the magic of maybe. It's when you look at your phone and there's a possibility of a text message maybe being there or maybe not. When that text message is there, that high you get is what this magic Robert is trying to explain. Dopamine levels can spike up to 400%, which is approximately the same amount of dopamine you get from taking cocaine. This probably explains why these apps can get so addictive. One of the major effects using social media has had is the rising of a depressed generation of millennials and post-millennials. Studies claim that there is a strong and significant association between social media use and depression in cases with young adults. This is the theory called social media depression, which makes complete sense if you really look at it. Social media is a virtual community where people strictly post the good things. It's never the bad. You'll see when they look their best, when they're on vacation, when they have been hired to their new job. This notion of only posting the best things in your life promotes this false image of what people's lives are actually like. It tricks the average user into subconsciously believing that everybody but them is winning in this game called life. It brings forth the illusion that everybody but them is living without a stress in the world, and life couldn't be any better. You see, this constant comparison to everybody else's perfect lives leaves the average user in a depressed state because they're left with the conclusion that their life just sucks and everyone else is living in this perfect utopian dreamland, which of course is not the case. So next time you see that guy on Instagram living the dream, keep in mind that he too has ups and downs, like the rest of us. Social media allows us to communicate with people from around the world at the touch of our fingertips. Throughout our time on this earth, we have never been so interconnected. So you might be asking yourself why we feel so lonely. It's because face-to-face communication isn't the most popular form of communicating nowadays, especially for the youth.
So as an elementary teacher, I teach grade 8 currently and have for the last 12 years. I've seen a huge change in the way that smartphones have been used in the classroom. They used to be maybe only a few kids had them, but now the majority, I'd say almost every student in my class has a smartphone and carries it with them to class almost every day. We see constantly that students are on their phones, they're trying to sneak it in, they're taking it into change rooms, they're taking it into the bathroom, all places where they shouldn't have them. So it's definitely impacted the learning process as well as relationships within the classroom. They are constantly looking at their texts, their notifications from their social media. They're not using it simply for the purpose of schoolwork. They are using it to stay connected with friends that are even sitting right beside them. They would rather text them or send them a message on Instagram rather than talk to someone in their own classroom.
Talking to somebody through a screen is the new norm in today's society. This issue here that engaging in face-to-face communication will never be the same as a FaceTime call or a text message. It's the non-verbal aspects of communication that distinguish face-to-face conversation from virtual conversation. Things like body language, eye contact, facial expressions, touch. People are missing out on all of these real-life experiences in exchange for a lousy LOL or what's up type of conversation. It shouldn't be a coincidence why you are feeling so lonely if your interactions are mostly through a screen. People would rather just shoot a text instead of actually speaking in person, and it's just tragic. Smartphones and technology are tools to help us, yet we are not using them to better ourselves. Instead, we are abusing them, and it has negatively affected society as a whole. However, there are a few ways to combat this drug called social media. One thing you can do is unfollow or delete any irrelevant people. Try to follow people you genuinely care about or people that post inspiring content. This way, you wouldn't be wasting your time seeing these posts that people could not care less about. Instead, you'd be watching something that is bringing you forward. Second, engage in activities that require you not to use your phone. Read a book, play an instrument, go shoot hoops. It could be anything. Doing so will create a sense of balance in your life, which is the key to a healthy lifestyle and will give you a sense of completion and satisfaction. Lastly, spend more time with the people that actually matter to you. A text message is not enough. Seeing them, laughing with them, hugging them is so important for your well-being, and people take this for granted. So it is vital to anybody watching this film to be aware of the truth that is going on around us. If you are the kid that is addicted to these smartphones, it is time to realize that you are slowly killing your potential to be the best version of yourself. If you can imagine the better you, you can be the better you. Next time you pick up your phone, use it to actually learn something rather than just consuming this drug called social media that you've been doing every single day. We all need to realize that the kids are the future of society. And if we don't do something about this epidemic soon enough, this drug called social media will doom us all. Make today the day your life is more than just social media.
Ito si Norma. Typical teenager, araw-araw online. Post ng pictures nila ni Kuya. For their 3rd monthsary, gumawa si Norma ng couple account nila ni Kuya sa IG. To date, may 8,000 followers na sila. Then one day, bigla siya nagkasakit.
Di karaniwan ang sakit ng anak mo.
Cancer?
Huwag masyadong madrama, ma'am.
Ay, anong handog?
Ang anak mo ay may EHS syndrome.
Oh my God! Ano yun?
EHS, or electromagnetic hypersensitivity. In short, allergic siya sa cellphones, tablets, and laptops. Pero higit sa lahat, sa Wi-Fi.
Basta importante gumaling ka. Dito walang stress.
Oo, wala ring signal. Wala ring landline. Eh, paano kami ni Leo?
Oo, di bisitahin ka niya dito. Ano, porque walang signal, wala na kayo, ganon.
Kapag masama ang pakiramdam ko, ginagamit ko ito. Tapos lumalakas ako.
Miss na kita.
Miss din naman siya ni Kuya. Pero ang totoo, mas miss ko siya.
Si Leo?
Na-aksidente kasi si Kuya sa Guinea. Isipin mo na lang na para kayong may long distance relationship ni Kuya. Pwede kayong magsulatan.
Norma, isulat ka. Galing ka Leo.
Finarge mo yung penmanship ng kuya mo? Eh ano bang gusto mong ma-achieve dyan sa ginagawa mo, ha? Alam mo, niloloko mo lang si Norma.
Kesa ma-depress siya, sumasabla ako para kay Kuya habang busy siya.
Wow! Sumasab! O sumisingit?
Nung panahon namin, walang internet. Para makilala mo mabuti ang isang tao, walang ibang paraan kundi kaibiganin mo talaga siya.
Puti pa ang consolations. May connection. Tayo na lang ang wala.
Tangina, ang corny mo.
Good morning, Christian. The first batch of commercial international flights is arriving this morning or today here at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Last May 3, inbound international flights were suspended as the government prepares for the influx of more Filipinos arriving in the country who all would need to undergo quarantine. Yesterday, inbound international flights were allowed, but every Monday and Thursday, it's only for chartered or repatriation flights. And for other days, including today, Tuesday, commercial scheduled flights may now land at NAIA. Today, there are 3 scheduled flights arriving at Jetstar Asia Airways from Singapore, a Singapore Airlines also from Singapore, and a Japan Airlines flight from Narita. All arriving passengers are Filipinos or authorized foreigners. Foreign tourists are still not allowed to enter the country. There are also several outbound international flights today going to South Korea, Singapore, Qatar, and India. The Civil Aeronautics Board reminds the public or the arriving passengers that they would need to undergo a COVID-19 test upon arrival at NAIA, as well as a mandatory quarantine in a government-approved facility. For overseas Filipino workers, the quarantine will be paid for by OWA, or the Overseas Welfare Workers Association, or the Maritime Industry Authority, or the local manning agency. For returning Filipinos, however, who are not workers or who are not overseas Filipino workers, they will have to shoulder the cost of the quarantine at a government-approved facility. One-stop shop service here inside the airport will assist all the passengers. So for now, Christian, behind me here at the NAIA Terminal 1, it's a quiet and peaceful scenario here at the airport, and we are expecting some passengers to arrive as flights will begin to depart around 10 a.m. And that's the latest from NAIA. Back to you, Christian.
Hi, Jackie. Just a brief question here. Can you walk us through the process? Because you mentioned that they will be tested and they will have to undergo quarantine after arrival there at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. So what exactly will be the procedure there? How will they be transported to the quarantine facilities, for example?
Yes, upon arriving, Christian, they will be greeted by workers from the department, interagency government agencies here, because there's a one-stop shop located inside the terminal building here at the Ninoy International Airport Terminal 1. They will be processed individually. They will be asked for their health, travel history, and other pertinent personal information. And then here they will also be, if they are OFW, the OWA, or if they are land-based OFW, OWA will be handling the quarantine procedure for these OFWs. But for sea-based or OFW, it's the local manning agency or Marina who will shoulder the cost for the quarantine procedure. But if you are, say, a businessman abroad, a Filipino businessman abroad who will be arriving here in the Philippines, you will still undergo, or you will still have to pass through the one-stop shop, and you could decide where you want to be where you want to go to what quarantine facility you will go to, as long as it's a government-approved facility. And from here at the airport, a transportation will be provided to where the facility will be, and you will have to wait for 2 to 4 days for the results of the COVID test, because the COVID test, Christian, will also be done here at the airport. If you are tested positive, then you will be transferred to a COVID-19 referral hospital. But if you are tested negative, then you will be allowed, you will be given a clearance, and you will be allowed to leave the quarantine facility, and a transportation for you to go home will be given to you, and you will still undergo a quarantine inside your home. Christian.
What kind of test will be administered there? Will that be the rapid antibody test?
It's the COVID RT-PCR test, Christian. It's to determine exactly if the patient or the passenger has COVID or not. It's not just a rapid test, Christian.
Okay, because the results of the RT-PCR test would still would take time, I suppose. Maybe a few days, right?
They are promised around 2 to 4 days. They will have to stay at a quarantine facility for 2 to 4 days, and until the results are released. And if they are, depending if it's a positive or negative, then they will only know upon the probably the fourth day, Christian.
Okay, thank you very much for that report, Jackie Pascual, reporting from the Ninoy Aquino International Airport.
Magandang umaga kabayan, ito naman ating quick weather update sa araw na to, Huwebes, June 4, 2020. Kasalukuyan mayroon tayong easterlies. Ito yung mainit na temperatura ng hangin galing karagatan Pasipiko. Apektado nito ang silangang bahagi ng Visayas at Mindanao. Asahan natin na may mga dala itong mainit at maalinsangang panahon. Kung makikita natin dito sa ating mapa, ito ang daloy ng hanging easterlies. Sa Metro Manila at sa iba pang bahagi ng ating bansa, asahan natin na mayroon tayong bahagyang maulap at maulap na kalangitan na may kasama itong pagkalat-kalat na pag-ulan. Dulot po ito dito sa easterlies at saka sa mga localized na thunderstorms. Kung makikita natin dito sa ating mapa, within 12 hours sa Luzon, Ilocos Region, Cordillera Administrative Region at sa Central Luzon, makakaranas tayo ng mga pag-ulan. Sa Occidental Mindoro naman at halos sa buong Palawan, may mga pag-ulan tayo. Sa Visayas, Antique, sa Sipalay at Bayawan Negros, may mga pag-ulan tayo. Sa Mindanao, Bukidnon, Lanao, Cotabato, Maguindanao at saka sa Davao Region, makakaranas tayo ng mga pag-ulan. Kaya sa mga lugar na mayroon tayong mga malakas na pag-ulan, mag-ingat po tayo kasi posible pang bigla ang pagbaha at pagguho ng mga lupa sa mga delikadong lugar. Weather outlook naman tayo dito sa Luzon, sa Metro Manila, ating temperatura ay 28 degrees Celsius hanggang 35 degrees Celsius. Magiging maaraw tayo ngayon. Luwag, 26 degrees Celsius hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Bahagyang maulap ang ating kalangitan. Baguio, 18 degrees Celsius hanggang 30 degrees Celsius. Bahagyang maulap din tayo dito. Puerto Princesa, 26 degrees Celsius hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Magiging maaraw tayo ngayon. Sa Visayas, Metro Cebu, ang ating temperatura ay 27 degrees Celsius hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Magiging maaraw tayo ngayon. Iloilo, 27 degrees Celsius hanggang 36 degrees Celsius. Maaraw din tayo dito. Tacloban, 27 degrees Celsius hanggang 31 degrees Celsius. Bahagyang maulap ang ating kalangitan. Halos buong Mindanao naman, bahagyang maulap ang ating kalangitan. Metro Davao, ang ating temperatura ay 25 degrees Celsius hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Cagayan de Oro, 25 degrees Celsius hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Zamboanga, 25 degrees Celsius hanggang 32 degrees Celsius. Sa kondisyon ng ating karagatan, wala po tayo nakataas na gale warning o babala na malakas na hangin sa ating karagatan. Kaya sa ating mga mamamayang mangisda, maliit at malaking sasakyan pandagat, malaya pa din tayo makapaglayag sa ating mga karagatan. Para sa araw-araw na quick weather update, mag-subscribe na po kayo dito sa ating channel. Weather Update Today, PH. Ito po yung kabayan na sasabing mabuhay. Mag-ingat po tayong lahat, Pilipinas.